let's get this bitch jumped off. Man. Hey, what's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Soft Sports. If you're not familiar with Soft Sports, the Houston Texans Homer Network means we talking all sports, but only Houston. You know what I'm saying? What the hell is Soft Sports? We got a few gentlemen from the round getting down with us today, man. I want to know how y'all feeling. It's game day 2019. It's time for some real live action. Who we got in the mix with us this evening?
Are you trying to get some free advertisement over there?
Yeah, just trying to get some free love, man.
Okay, get some free love, free advertisement. What's up, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Spitz, man. We out here for the first game season opener. Let's get it, H-Time.
Already. Who else we got in the mix this afternoon, evening, whatever fucking time it is?
You got your boy Wise in the midst. What's good, Sauce Nation? Go ahead and like the stream. Go ahead and subscribe.
Already. And last but not least, who we got the most toxic one of them all? Who we got in the mix with us this evening, man?
Man, it's Toxic City Tinny, or how you would like to call me, Mr. Positive Vibes. My brothers and sisters.
Namaste, my good brother Timmy. Man, so there's a lot going on, man. Again, if y'all don't know, Soft Sports is Houston Homer Network, but we're going to keep it real with you. We ain't going to sell you Kool-Aid, cake, sugar, all of the bullshit that you want. We're going to keep it 1,000 with you, man. Shout outs. Let's see if we got Joe in. We try to see if we can get us a quick shout out, and then we're going to get into some conversation. We ain't going to waste too much time to see what we got in here. Fernando Chill, JL Productions, Ruthless Bar, Southside Still Dripping, Real Swift. What's the motherfucking deal? Beat Justin, XOJ, Mike B, Professor Trio. What's the motherfucking deal? McCarty, what's the motherfucking deal? H-Town Sports. Let me see. Joseph Lopez. Let me see. Texas Boy. Let me see. Ashmel, what's the motherfucking deal? Rigo, Voodoo Child, one half of the greatest moderator couple in all the land. Jeff Sports Blitz, Jimmy T, Sam, L. Murray, what's the motherfucking deal? Dewey Harris, what's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. D. Pritch, aka Texas Palace. If you're not following Texans Palace on Instagram, then what the fuck you doing with yourself, man? What you doing with yourself? Let me see. High Trippy, T. Jackson, what's the motherfucking deal? Bob Dylan, what's the motherfucking deal? Adrian, Maxwell, King 88, what's the motherfucking deal? Gilmore. And Jimmy R, man, if I missed you, I ain't dish you. We got a lot of shit to talk about, man. We only got a little bit of time to talk about it. Pregame started with 6, or the game started at 16, so we got about an hour of power coming at y'all, man. So looks like the order is Wise, Spitz, and Tenny, and we're gonna get into some good conversation. So let's kind of start off. What to look for tonight when it comes to this Texans fan, this conversation. Well, actually, we got a couple of things. Yes, Titus is out. The first round pick is not playing, and Kiki is out, unfortunately. But you got Steals. I don't know how much of the playbook Steals is ready for, but again, it's going to be very interesting to see this line up on the field. So you have Snail Kelamete starting at left guard. I know how excited all the Texans fans are about that. But what's his name? Sheldon Rankins for the Saints should be out this game, so that's a little bit of an advantage for us, but not too much. But let's start off with Wise, man. Wise, man, your thoughts, man. Key players going into this game, looking at both teams, man, who do you feel are going to be essential players in this matchup that we have to look out for?
Well, on the Texans side of the ball, the key player is going to have to be Deshaun Watson. We got to see what Deshaun Watson has progressed at. I mean, we've seen his footwork progress over the season. We've seen this guy presence in a pocket also get developed. I mean, this guy has improved year after year after year. This is this guy's third year. He's been able to clean his turnovers his turnovers up. But I want to see what Bill O'Brien is going to do and let this guy unleash. I mean, can we see a 2017 vintage Deshaun Watson? I've been waiting to see that. I've been wanting to see more RPO this year. So I want to see how he's able to implement these new pieces. My big players I want to see on the Texans is, like I said, Deshaun Watson. Also, I want to see Duke Johnson and Carlos Hyde. What can these guys do at that running back position? As we all know, we did lose Lamar Miller, our starting running back for the season. So if these guys are not up to par, then maybe we might have to go make a trade for another running back or pick up another running back in free agency. Another key position for the Houston Texans today that I want to look at is the tight end position. We got Jordan Akins out there, and we got Darren Fells. These are two guys that wasn't projected to be starters this season. I mean, Jordan Akins, yeah, but not Darren Fells. Nobody projected Darren Fells to be the starter this season. But since Jordan Thomas is out, since Kahali Warren is out, I want to see what these guys are going to be able to do. We know that Fells is supposed to be a guy that can block, a guy that's supposed to help with the pass protection for the Houston Texans offense. So I think those guys are going to be key. everybody on the defense is going to be a key. We got to see how the defense is going to step up due to the loss for Jadeveon Clowney. I want to see some pass rushers. I want to see what this guy Boncavius Mingo can do since we traded for him. I want to see what Jacob Martin can do because we gave up a lot of assets. Even though people don't say Jadeveon Clowney was a substantial asset, he was a substantial asset, and we gave him up for this pitiful guy. So.
Oh man, Texas did that on purpose. They pulled the plug on my boy Wise.
Yeah, the Texas Haters got your Wise, man. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. We did shift it. We got split screen Tenny going on over here. You know the Texas, they got that. You know that's communist sports around here. They shutting off anything. You saying anything negative, they gonna shut you down. Hey man, a couple of things. I'll get Wise a second maybe before we can jump back. There you go. But a couple of things, man. Make sure, hey, support the sauce, man. Like, hey, you know, as we enjoy doing this, as we get into the season, man, it's a lot of sauce coming at you, man. So make sure you're following all these gentlemen on all their channels. The links are down in the description below. And if you want to donate to the channel, you want to support the channel, you want to get the little pop-up and all that good stuff, man, go to staysaucy.com. It'll take you to the donate page. I have the super chats off for a particular reason. But if you want to support the channel, go to staysaucy.com. And you can donate there and put your message on the screen with your dancing JJs or your Deshaun Watsons, you know, doing what he does best, all that other good stuff. Also, you can text the sauce line. I don't have the number up here. What is the fucking number to the sauce line? I remember it just second. Shout out to Chandler for hitting the sauce line. You can text the sauce line, we ain't gonna take no calls. Look, it's been so long since I've been on the sauce line, I forgot about it. But go ahead, Wise, man. You can finish up what you were saying there, man.
Oh, my bad. I don't know. I lost connection for some reason. But for the New Orleans Saints, it's a lot of guys to watch. I want to see that matchup with Michael Thomas and Bradley Roby. What is Bradley Roby going to come out here and do today? This guy got paid to come in here. He's betting on himself in free agency. He got a 1-year contract. He got to come out here and show that he's the number 1 corner or number 2 corner in this league so that he can earn another contract in this league next season. That's going to be a key matchup. I mean, we know what Drew Brees is going to do. We've seen what multiple all-star quarterbacks have done to the secondary. They've been able to dissect the secondary. So, I mean, it's so many pieces on the Saints offense. I can go through their whole offense. I can go through their whole defense. There's just too many pieces. We know they have Alvin Kamara. We know we have problems with running backs out of the backfield that can catch the ball. And, you know, Alvin Kamara has a lot of speed. Taysom Hill. A lot of guys ain't going to talk about Taysom Hill, but Taysom Hill can line up at tight end, quarterback, running back, wide receiver. He's the New Orleans Saints Joe Webb, and they like to use him and they like to implement him in his offense. So those are a few guys that I'm watching out for today.
Man, the New Orleans Saints Joe Webb, younger and fresher. Already. Spence, man, what are your thoughts, man? Who are some key players in your mind, both sides of the ball, looking at the Texans and the Saints? Who are the key players to look out for tonight in tonight's game?
Okay, we already know. Number 4 is all the players on the field today. Number 4 is going to be the most important player today. So we don't even have to go into the conversation where we know he's the key player. But other key players is number 15 and number 12. Number 15 is coming off an ACL injury. So what can you do in the Superdome when I think it's going to be a track meet? I really think this game is going to be a high-scoring game, and this is the type of game that both him and Ken Stills that gonna have to come up and show up in this game, being in the dome, being to be a track field, a track meet type of game. Both of them with the speed that they have, both of them have elite type of speed from the wide receiver position, so they could definitely make plays. But I want to touch on something that Wise said. Probably somebody has one of the biggest targets on them is number 21. That's Bradley Roby, because like he said, he bet on himself, and this is game 1 of a 16-game prove-it deal that he has going with himself. He's $10 million per. Well, $10 million this season. And if he wants a big payday, which it seems like the Texans ain't going to give out no way, if he wants a big payday, he has to prove his worth starting today. And what other better way to do it on Monday night in the Superdome against Drew Brees, against Mike Thomas, against all these other guys, Alvin Kamara, all these other things that's going on inside the Superdome against a high-power offense on Monday night, the season opener. What way to start your season off to prove that you were worth this $10 million deal, this $10 million dollar deal, and to earn a deal going forward. And on the Saints, you know, we got to watch out for Kamara, we got to watch out for Thomas. So those are 2 key parts against this type of defense. We lost Clowney, so how is our run defense going to fare? We were one of the best run defenses in the league, but that's also doing because you don't have 90, who I feel is the best run stopper in the NFL. So we're going to see exactly what Alvin Kamara could do against this defense.
Man, that's a very big piece too. Yeah, that's kind of something I'm very interested to see. Tin man. What are your thoughts, man? This Texans team versus this Saints team, Monday Night Football, going to the Superdome. Who are the key players that we need to be looking out for tonight?
Well, to pick up right where Spitz left off, I got one player that I want to talk about for the Saints. And we know the Saints have been a pretty good team for the last 3 years, let's say that much. The one player that I want to focus in on is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is going to be key to the success that the Saints have against the Houston Texans tonight. Historically, for the last 4 to 5 years, we have constantly given up big plays to running backs from out of the backfield. And there's 3 players that I want to watch on the Houston Texans side. How will they affect that? It's going to be Brendan Scarlett. It's going to be Zach Cunningham and B-Mac if he needs to be called up. All 3 of these guys have to find a way to do their part to shut down Alvin Kamara. I know it sounds ridiculous to call 3 grown-ass men out and say that you got to stop one little grown-ass man. And that shit right there can destroy this entire game for the Houston Texans right now. Their inability to cover him, their inability to stop him from big gains is going to be crucial. I know a lot of us believe in this run defense that the Houston Texans have, but for key players to watch, it's going to be Alvin Kamara against these linebackers, especially the ones that are going to have to cover him and go follow him and make sure that he ain't fucking destroying this game.
Had to readjust the bank. I know y'all want the bank. The bank should be working now. And again, like I said, essentially, you guys really covered everything. I'm just kind of focused on a couple of key pieces, major pieces. And again, I think those 2 things are, as far as the Saints, Drew Brees. I'm telling you, like, I have a fear until I see that this secondary proves it. Until I see that, because if you look at the depth chart now, sometimes the depth chart it is what it is. The Texans like to be crafty. Romeo Crennel already said he doesn't really want to play rookies because they make rookie mistakes. But in my opinion, you know how you overcome rookie mistakes? By getting the fucking experience so you're no longer a rookie. So he has issues with Lonnie Johnson. We saw that Keon Crossan is going to be backing up, going to be your second guy as far as cornerback position. Drew Brees is going to be going against, to me, in a secondary that has not had real quality time playing against. Who have they really gone against? You've seen a couple of your guys in the joint practices, but in the preseason, when games really matter, when guys are really trying to hit each other, or you've gone against the Kaisers of the world, you've gone against the backups, you've gone up against whoever the fuck was backing up Dak, like you're not really seeing a lot of action. I got questions about Roby because, again, Roby's had, to me, excellent coverage in the preseason, but he's been going against a lot of second-string guys, backups, but you've seen them make catches. So what good is having great coverage if you can't make plays on the ball, if you can't stop these guys from making catches? So I have those are going to be 2 guys that I'm watching because Roby is a guy that they're paying a lot of money to, in my opinion. I agree with who said it earlier, that it's going to be a rental. I think Spitz said it about, the $10 million for 1 year, and they're not going to pay him if he does have an excellent season because then somebody else is going to throw a lot of money at him. So my deal is, like, I'm going to really be watching him. What is he going to bring to the table, especially against a guy like Michael Thomas, who is him and Hop, both all pros, first team. You know what I mean? So what is he going to do against this guy? And I think if he has a good game against this guy, then that does set the tone when you're talking about what's going to happen for the rest of the season. What you got there, Spitz?
And to piggyback what you just said, think about this, put this in perspective. If he does, if say Bradley Roby does earn his keep, and say Bradley has an all-pro year, you're looking at a situation that summer that you have to pay Roby, Watson, and Tunsil. Mm-hmm. And because of what you're giving up for Tunsil, you're going to have to make him the highest paid left tackle because what you gave up for him, we already know what type of money Deshaun's going to command. And then if Roby is all pro type of corner, that's a lot of money dishing out. Somebody's not getting paid. Just to put that out there. Somebody ain't getting paid.
For those of you who know, yes, there will be no Titus. There will be Snail. Again, I told you that broken finger for Titus was a question mark, and I think it's, even when he does get a chance to get in the game, I think it's still going to be a hindrance because, again, he's missed a good chunk of the preseason dealing with that broken finger. He's not going to have that time to build that rapport. But Tunsil's automatically going to make it better. Well, if they don't have that time to build that rapport, I don't think that's going to happen. But Tunsil's going to be another guy that I'm looking at. how well he plays, only having a few days to really get implemented into this offense, only having a little bit of time to really become a part of this. But I do feel like he is an instant upgrade. He does make the line better, but you still have 4 other guys along that line that you have question marks on. So you can't, one guy's not covering, all 5 positions. So as much as I do like the fact that Tulsa's there, I think teams will target the weaker areas in this line and still be able to take advantage. Now, we talked about the players. We kind of discussed these guys. What I want to get into is my biggest concern, and a lot of people say, oh, you guys are just so anti-Bill O'Brien. And I did a video a while back called The Real Bill O'Brien. I presented you facts. I presented you actual records. And the famous saying is, you are what your record says you are. Everybody loves to talk about the 32 and 2 after halftime, but there were a lot of other records in there. And I didn't even include that because I forgot what it was. I think it was 13 and 30, something like that, against teams that are over 500. So it's not really a great record. That the majority of the records that Bill O'Brien puts out there, they have been against lesser quality teams. Again, it's that that caveat that you throw on the record when you talk about, kind of those ESPN style analytics or special statistics that people make. My question is, this guy is going against a proven head coach in Peyton. We all know what Peyton is. Peyton is legit. He's in the conversation every year. He's going to have his teams ready to play every year. We can talk about the Saints have kind of fucked up every opener game, right? Don't take that as a valid thing to base your hopes off of. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean anything. Any year that changes. But my thing is Bill O'Brien versus Sean Payton, because Bill O'Brien will be calling the plays tonight. Unfortunately, I know a lot of us like Tim Kelly, but it is what it is. What can Bill O'Brien do versus a guy like Sean Payton? Can he show that he has adapted, he has made changes, he's went and got all these weapons? Is he still going to play conservative? So that's a big thing that I want to see what's going to happen. So we'll start with Tenny and your thoughts on this, man. Talking about Billy O versus Payton, what do you see in this coaching comparison? Do you see that we've seen Billy O get outclassed by a lot of head coaches? Do you think Billy O is taking a step up this year and is going to be able to compete and be able to put a product on the field that's going to be able to hang with the Saints tonight?
Well, I mean, if you really want to say what can Billy O do to make a difference in this game, to outcoach Sean Payton, he's got to do things completely different than he has the last few years. The one year that Bill O'Brien played to his players' strength, this offense was the #1 scoring offense in the league. Without a question of a doubt. Through 7 games, he was capable of playing to Deshaun Watson's strength and made it a complete difference with what this team can do. And that's something Sean Payton's always been capable of doing. Nobody was saying Alvin Kamara before Alvin Kamara was on the Saints. Nobody was saying he was going to come in the league and do what he did. Nobody said Michael Thomas was going to do what he did. He plays to his players' strengths. And the problem with Bill O'Brien is he likes to have his players' strengths play to his playbook. He thinks that they will sit here. That's why we always see Will Fuller on a straight route, always running down the field. Every damn play, gassing him out every fucking play. Instead of making Will Fuller a more diverse receiver to assist in DeAndre Hopkins. And right now, we're in a situation where we don't really have a proven running back in this system. All right, think about that. Duke Johnson made his money in Cleveland. How is Bill O'Brien going to use Duke Johnson to improve his playbook? There's a lot of coaching questions going into this game, especially since he's going to share play calling duties with, what's his name? What the fuck is that dude's name? Tim Kelly. Yeah, Mr. Put the food and drinks out and get the meetings ready. I mean, the fucked up part about this whole situation is that he appointed this man as offensive coordinator and won't even give him the fucking reins to be offensive coordinator. Bill O'Brien wants all of his hands and then some in the cookie jar of everything that's going on this team. And it's proven this past offseason, as far as what his duties now are as GM, head coach, offensive play caller. Lord knows what he's doing in the offensive line room. Lord knows what he's doing with the offensive receivers, tight ends. Go and you can run down the laundry list. That's the difference between the quality of coaching between Sean Payton and Bill O'Brien. Sean Payton probably has none of the hats that Bill O'Brien wears with the Houston Texans that he has with the fucking New Orleans Saints. That's the difference between a leader and a fucking jackass. And I don't give a fuck if I got to eat crow on it. Bill O'Brien is the single fucking cause of all of our problems here with this team. We have a talented team. We have a roster that's built to be offensively powerful. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't think we're going to see that tonight. The biggest thing, like I said, Sean Payton's willing to play to his strengths. Bill O'Brien wants his players' strengths to play to his playbook, period, in the story.
All right, can't doubt that. Shout out to Sam, man. Sam sent a text message in, and maybe make sure I show some love to the text line. I don't want y'all to feel neglected. Sam says, man, Sharp will be covering for Senio by the second quarter due to injury. Yeah, Senio Kelemete has been injured more than I've ever seen anybody in my life. The dude got injured like twice in one game. Chandler says, shout out to Honcho, Chenny Wise Spitz. It's Chandler. Shout out to Chandler. Got a text saying, I'm waiting to see Tunsil tonight. Absolutely am I. Admiral said he's out there in New Orleans. We're going to get the dub. Stadium is on fire. What's that shit they got in New Orleans? Hand grenades or something like that? Go get you a couple of them, man. You know, if it don't go right, you'll feel light. Says, L. Murray says, if Roby has a great year, would you rather pay him or go after Ramsey? Texans don't want Ramsey. If Bill O'Brien is still here, they're not going to go after Ramsey because we already know what kind of culture he's trying to bring. And if he didn't like Clowney's attitude, then you already know Ramsey is not going to be a guy that comes in. But let's go to Spitz, man. Spitz, your thoughts, man, as far as this coaching comparison between Sean Payton and Bill O'Brien, man. What are your ultimate thoughts, man? Y'all hit that like button. We were like 150 deep. I see 33 likes, man. Y'all come on, hit that like button and hit the dislike button. I don't really give a shit if you don't like it. Just so you ain't dead, motherfucker. Goddamn, let you two know you actually watching. But Spitz, your thoughts, man.
Well, I mean, if you're comparing the two coaches, I mean, it's not a comparison because Sean Payton is a Super Bowl winning coach. A coach that's been in several NFC Championship games, and Bill O'Brien only has one playoff win out of, 3 appearances. So just off of that alone, there's no comparison. But the other question that you asked about being conservative, I think with the moves that Bill O'Brien has made in the past 2 weeks, I think that he won't be conservative because he's coaching for his job. And he's doing everything like he's putting all his chips on the table. So I do think that he's going to be less conservative than years past because he knows that he has to get as many wins as he possibly can and put his team in the best position he possibly can to win. And sometimes being desperate works out in your favor, and a lot of times being desperate works out against you. And like you come back with egg in your face. So we have to wait into December to see if this level of desperation will benefit the Texans or hurt the Texans, benefit Bill O'Brien or hurt Bill O'Brien in the long run. So we'll have to wait until that till we get to that far down the road to see exactly how that's going to happen. But if you're just talking about the two coaching comparisons, it's not a comparison at all. It's not even really worth elaborating on because of the things that Sean Payton has done and showed you the possibilities have done. The best thing that Bill O'Brien has done outside the 6 games with Deshaun Watson was able to win games with Brock Osweiler. And that's more so the defense than him being an elite coach in that respect.
Not even in the same class. Okay, he in remedial and Sean Payton in the gifted classes. That's tough. Wise man, what are your thoughts when it comes to comparing the coaches that are going to be on Monday Night Football tonight with the Texans and the Saints? What are your thoughts, man? How do you feel about this situation?
I mean, it's levels to this. I mean, we know what level Sean Payton is on. We don't know what level Bill O'Brien is on. I mean, if I could recall, maybe like a year and a half ago, I've been crying for Sean Payton to become the coach of the Houston Texans. I've been like, damn, he's going to be a free agent this offseason as a NFL head coach. That would be a perfect fit for the Houston Texans. Sean Payton is the guy that we need. Bill O'Brien is the guy that we don't need. Bill O'Brien, he's a guy that doesn't do well in 500 games against 500 teams, teams above 500. I think he has a 13-31 record against those teams. So I really don't have any confidence in Bill O'Brien's ability to coach this football team. However, I do feel confident in this offense. I feel confident that Kenny Stills is returning home today to his team that he was originally drafted by, and we get to see Will Fuller back. And the offense for the Houston Texans are 2 different offenses with Will Fuller and without Will Fuller. Without Will Fuller, the offense is one-dimensional. We throw the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, and we run the ball with Lamar Miller. With Will Fuller, the ball is spread out more evenly. We see a lot of fly routes, post routes, screens, underneath routes. We see a whole different offense. Sean Payton is the hell of a coach. Sean Payton continues to develop talent. I mean, we've seen this over the years. New Orleans Saints was once the worst franchise in the NFL. If people even believe that, people used to show up to the Saints game with trash bags on their heads. The NFL almost moved the Saints out of New Orleans. People don't know that. I got this information from Saints fan. They almost moved to Oklahoma. They almost moved to LA. They wanted to get the Saints out of there because nobody was showing up to the game. All these Saints fans just started showing up because of the Super Bowl they won after the Hurricane Katrina, if you guys remember. But like I said, like Spitz said, like Kenny said, ain't no levels to this. These guys are not in the same class. Sean Payton's the best coach, and it's not even close. He's a chess master. Bill O'Brien is just I don't even know what Bill O'Brien is. He's not no mentor. He ain't shit.
First and foremost, I mean, I can't necessarily disagree with anything that's been being said. We've seen what Bill O'Brien is capable of. I have a hard time thinking that a leopard doesn't change its spots. This is year 6. We saw a little bit of it a couple of years ago when he first got Watson, and I saw somebody ask, well, 13-31, how many were with Watson? Here's the thing you got to look at about Bill O'Brien. The quarterbacks that Bill O'Brien had prior to, except for Brock Osweiler, which was still a winning season, which was the season he had his best chance of ever beating the Patriots. Those were quarterbacks that Bill O'Brien wanted. We thought they were trash. We thought they were terrible. But it turns out Bill O'Brien almost traded a second to the Browns for Hoyer that year. That came out that I think his first year or something like that. He was going to trade a second round pick to the Browns for Hoyer. So Hoyer was a guy that he wanted. So we can be like, oh, Hoyer was trash. He was terrible. This is a Billy O pick. Mallett was a guy that Billy O wanted. Fitzpatrick, he kind of could have been here or there. I don't know if he was necessarily a Billy O guy, but so I might put him in that same category with Osweiler. But Mallett and Hoyer, those were both guys that he definitely wanted. So the stuff that took place with that's on Billy O. A lot of these games, you can't. You saw Belichick go when Brady was replaced with who was old buddy? Who was the guy that Castle, that's right.
Tim Castle.
Yeah, still ended up going, 11-5 that year? Something like 11-5, 12-4 that year, something like that. And
they went 11-5 the year after they went undefeated.
Yeah, and so and so that's what I'm saying, man. It's just like a good coach has his team ready to play no matter who's out there. Savage was a guy that he wanted, a guy that he put in over Deshaun Watson. So, and that's what it is. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why you look at Bill O'Brien and you're like, okay, well, where is his skills at talent evaluation? Where is his skills at having players prepared, having them ready to go? So many slow starts to different seasons. It's just like, what is the real impact that he's bringing? And this is where I have questions. I was a Billy O guy last year. All last season, hey, a win is a win. Went 0-3, hey, y'all calm down, just wait and see. We found a favorable patch of schedule. It worked out in our favor. But again, if you go back and you look at that schedule where it was favorable, every game ended up either being a rookie or a backup, and that played into our favor. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Cornell is going to take advantage of a backup quarterback, or will not necessarily take advantage of a backup quarterback. That he'll take advantage of a rookie quarterback, but then the backups came in, and some of those backups applied a little pressure. You know what I'm saying? You can talk about Colt McCoy, who I didn't even know he was in the league last year. Came in and almost got the Redskins in this conversation. If it wasn't for, what's his name, returning that shit with 106 yards, that might have been a different game. So, again, I give a lot more credit now to the players making spectacular plays on the field than I can give to Bill O'Brien. With him making these moves in desperation, I do want to think that not only is he's being, extreme on the field, but I'm hoping that as far as, acquiring talent, but I'm hoping that he will open up the playbook. He will take bigger shots. We saw kind of in the preseason. Again, we could talk about the talent in the preseason, but when Tim Kelly was calling the plays, he seemed to take more risk. He seemed to be more about making the big play. And I think that the NFL in the next couple of years is going to be transitioning to a lot younger coaches. You see a couple of guys coming out there, McVay Tree and some other guys like that. I think the youth movement is going to start taking over the coaching staff, a lot of these coaching staffs, because they're putting points on the board. They're going for big shots. You got a lot of quarterbacks now who are much more dynamic than they used to be. Used to be a lot of pocket pass, but you're seeing mobility take over the league now. Almost every quarterback has some level of mobility, and I think that these younger coordinators, these younger coaches are taking advantage of that. But
hashtag Coach Spitz.
Man, matter of fact, how did the Suns game come out the other day, man?
Man, yeah, we took an L.
It's all good. We ain't gonna talk about it then. But so what happened is
At least I'm bothered. Hey, we lost our last player of the game. I ain't tripping.
Okay, it's all good. But my thing is this, man. This franchise, and I'm not putting this all on Bill O'Brien, has been wasting a lot of top-notch Hall of Fame quality talent for years. And this is something I think we can all agree on. We can talk about Andre Johnson, the GOAT, the greatest Texan to ever do it. Watt's career, he's going on 30, or he is 30 now, and he's going to be getting only older. You know, his career has been less than, I mean, it's been stellar from his own right, but as far as you haven't done big things in the big games, that, you know, the ones that really matter. You can talk about Clowney, however you want to look at him, he's here and he's gone. You can talk about Hopkins, has been a top-tier receiver forever, and people are barely finding out about it last year because he finally got a quarterback. Or they're not playing in the big games. They're not showing up in the games that matter. Instead of seeing what Hop is doing, people are like, oh, the Texans are, they're a joke. You know what I'm saying? So they're not even paying attention to the stellar stuff that's going on. And this is all, it starts from the top, but it trickles down. We can talk about ownership last year. It's a whole new brand of ownership. I really feel like Cal is putting his foot on O'Brien's neck. Is it going in the right direction? Is he giving him a little leeway? Maybe, but I do feel like O'Brien's on the hot seat. So with that being said, I do think he's going to be stepping up a notch, but let's, like Spitz said, like everybody else, it's two different classes of coaches. O'Brien hasn't shown that he's ready to play big boy ball. He's still kind of in the little leagues, and Peyton, like I said, showing you every year, he is legit. He is the man. He's in conversation. He's in consideration. The Saints are a perennial, at least preseason Super Bowl pick because people have faith in what this man brings to the table. A couple things I want to get into. I want to get into real quick. We still got some time. Then we'll get some bark my motherfucking words, and we'll get some predictions here towards the end. But a lot of injuries took place yesterday. A lot of week one injuries, things that have impacted this division for the Texans as a whole. Do you feel like some of this stuff is either going to be a gift to Billy O, or do you think that we're still going to struggle? Because you see, who was it? Hill went out. He could possibly be on IR. Foles is out for quite some time. We already know that, you know, Luck is gone, so that's not really a thing. But then Funchess, the guy they just picked up, he's going to be out for a lot of collarbones. I think all of those were collarbone injuries or something of the sort.
Yeah, I think all collar or some type of broken bone.
Mm-hmm. And so, like I say, these things are going to be impactful in my opinion. Like I said, I just want to get a quick take from the roundtable, man. How do you guys feel? What are your thoughts? We'll start with Wise, man. How do you feel like some of these, because these are teams that we're going to be facing, how do you feel like some of these things are going to impact the Texans moving forward?
With the Texans, I never count my eggs before they hatch. I mean, I can't expect just because of injuries that the Texans are going to go out here and win games. They're going to go out here and dominate, because I don't know if the Texans going to stay healthy. I don't know if we're going to stay healthy at the wide receiving position. I don't know. This team has a lot of questions that have been unanswered. We had a lot of turnover on our roster this offseason, and we have to implement a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball, and we have to implement guys on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to the secondary and when it comes to the front seven. So, I mean, the injuries, yeah, they're a plus. It makes a higher chance, a probability for the Texans to go out there and win those games. However, we've seen what the Texans have done in the past. The Texans, I mean, every year I get this little bit of hope. Man, we can go out here, we can dominate. So-and-so team is injured. Shit, last year, the Titans was hurt. They didn't have a quarterback. They had Blaine Gabbert. And we went in Tennessee and lost. Kevin Byard out here catching touchdowns, throwing touchdowns. No, Kevin Byard throwing touchdowns on us, a safety, NFL safety. So when it comes to those injuries, yeah, they can help us. Yes, the Texans should win the AFC South championship once again. But are the Texans going to take the next steps past the wild card this season? That's my biggest question, and pass the divisional round. That's my biggest question for this team. Can we stay healthy, and can we actually go out here and dominate like maybe the other teams in this city have done, Houston Astros and Houston Rockets?
Exactly. Spitz, man, your thoughts as far as these injuries? Do you think they're going to have an impact on the future of the Texans season?
No, not really. My predictions, the way I had things slated, still is the same. I mean, even without Tyreek Hill, the Kansas City offense is still dangerous enough. I predicted the Texans to beat Jacksonville next week, so that Nick Foles thing doesn't really bother me. And then I've already had my predictions about the Colts. So my opinion on how the season goes out is still the same. Where it might help us at more so, it's not the games against us. Might be for those individual teams' overall record. That we might benefit from them losing more games than they should have lost, And that might help the Texans. Who knows? Might help the Texans in the seeding for the AFC South. Might help the Texans in the seeding for the AFC. Period. Who all knows? But I think that we more so going to benefit if there is a benefit. We'll benefit for them playing their other games, not so the games against us.
Okay. Good point. And Tim, man, how you feeling, man? How do you think that the impact of these injuries, a lot of major injuries took place over the weekend. How do you feel like any of this is going to benefit or help or hinder or do anything to the Texans?
In the short term, not so much. In the long run, I think it'll benefit them on the second half of the season. You think about the structure of what the Jags got going on right now. They just lost a guy they bet money on. Now they just went and traded for somebody. If Minshew has issues later on, they're just gonna switch his ass out. I mean, you look at the Chiefs situation. I know we just faced them one time, but I mean, Patrick Mahomes was limping around whenever he got that fucking little ankle sprain. So I mean, you don't know how that would deteriorate or if he will be able to get the time to heal by the time we face him. So it's that old saying, you know, chaos is a ladder. You know, anything that can happen, and you got to use it to your advantage. Right now, the Texans need to focus on taking on one game at a time. I wouldn't put no stock into what's going on around the league, especially what's going on in our division. And as far as what we could benefit off of some of these injuries. But in the long run, like Spit said, it'll affect the overall record of some of these teams, which could give us a chance at being number one seed, maybe if they succeed, if they could capitalize on some wins and get a good run going like they did last year. You saw we were going for number one seed and number two seed. We had a shot at it, but then we just let it slide away. So it's another situation like that. You know, are you going to capitalize on all the chaos that happens around the league? Are the things that happen in week one going to be something that you can put yourself in place to benefit later on in the season? Can the Texans do it? I don't know. I don't want to fucking get my crystal ball out because a lot of motherfuckers getting their feelings.
Now, with all this being said, it's time to start making a few predictions. Because my favorite part of the streams, and yes, we will have a post-game stream. It's regular season, baby, so we will have a post-game stream immediately after the game, and the sauce line will be open for your calls. We'll probably have a 5-minute rule tonight so that everybody can kind of get their calls and stuff in. But immediately after the game, make sure you're a part of that. Let's start making some predictions, man. I want to get some mark my motherfucking words. And if you don't know what mark my motherfucking words is, mark my motherfucking words is a bold prediction. So that's not saying, oh, well, Duke Johnson's going to go out there. He's going to have 22 carries for 84. That's basic. That's some old bullshit. Nobody cares about. Like, you have to go out on a limb, make a bold but reasonable, I guess. Because some of y'all talking about Watson's going, he's going to throw for 1,000 yards. That's not going to fucking happen. Bold but reasonable. But you know what I'm saying? We're going to get some mark my motherfucking words in. We are going to start with the most toxic of them all. Okay? Mr. Tin Man. Mr. AKA the General, AKA Mr. Positivity himself. What are your thoughts? What are your mark my motherfucking words for this game? And I will be jotting these down, trying to keep notes. And if I'll make sure to try to reward some sauce. I may not get everybody, but I will try to do my best. What is your mark my motherfucking words for tonight's game?
Let's get out of our mind right here. Deshaun Watson throws for 350 plus yards with 2 touchdowns being 40 yards or more and a total of 4 passing touchdowns.
Okay. That's a good. Hey, I like that. No complaints on that one. Spitz. You know, let me get the throatest mark my motherfucking words of all. What you got there, man? What's on your mind, man? What's the big thing that's gonna happen tonight in this game?
I tell you, I do you one better. Deshaun throws for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, with Will Fuller going for 2 and 2 touchdowns, 200 yards.
Okay. 15 gets 200 and 2 TDs. Okay. Wise man. You know, you reach into that mind of wisdom and knowledge that you provide us and give us a mark my motherfucking words. What you got for the people, man?
Man, I'm scared to say my mark, my motherfucking words, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. The defense going to combine for 2 turnovers
And Bradley Roby will hold Michael Thomas to under 100 yards receiving.
Okay. Roby gonna show up. All right. Let me see. Okay. I am going to lean towards the offense in my motherfucking words. Again, simply because I feel like the defense hasn't really seen a starting team yet. We kind of saw what happened in the preseason. They kind of got gifted a couple little things. I think that they will come along. They'll get better along as the season goes. I just think early on, it's not going to look as good as we would like. My motherfucking words is Hop don't drop. Hop will have 9 receptions for a total of 113 yards, 2 TDs, along with Fuller also having a 100-yard game, 1 TD, and Steals, I'm not giving him 100 yards, but I think he contributes in his debut as a Texan for a touchdown. As far as, what is Steals, 12? Jacoby. And then, let me see. And Watson total, I want to give Watson the big bucks. I'm going to say Watson goes for a total of, I'm gonna slide in between where Spitz and Tim. I'm going to give Watson 375 with no INTs. That's where I'm going to go with that. But again, man, you know how we do here at Sauce Nation, man. Sauce Sports. Put your mark my motherfucking words in the chat. If you are in the chat, if you want to text me into the Sauce line, I will definitely make sure to write those down. Make sure to jot those down. I'll speak on a couple of them. But here's what I want to do, man. A couple of key things I want to look at because the game got about 25 minutes for a start. It starts at 6:10, if I'm not mistaken. What an odd time. But we'll drag it just a little bit. It's either 6 or 16. Make sure somebody double check that and make sure I'm right. But
Is it 6?
Is it 6 on the dot? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We got 15 minutes. We're gonna do a couple of things real quick, man. I feel like this game is going to be a shootout. Period. Like I think it's going to be a shootout between the Texans and the Saints. I just don't see the Texas defense being ready yet. I think there's been too much turnover. But I have questions. So I think for the Texans to compete with all these assets and pieces they've acquired, that they've invested so much heavily into the offense and kind of subtracted from what they had on defense as a whole, in my opinion, last year. I think that it's going to be who has the better offense this game. And when it comes down to it, I think you have a proven commodity versus an unknown commodity at this point. You know, we've seen the flashes, we've seen the potential from this offense when guys are healthy. I don't know how much Steals is picked up. I don't know how much Carter's going to be utilized. I don't know how creative Bill O'Brien's going to be. I think the run game is taking a step back with Miller being out because, again, you brought 2 guys in who haven't had experience either in this system or you have not seen what they can do. We haven't seen either of these guys. We haven't seen Carlos Hyde. We haven't seen Duke Johnson. We have not seen any of these guys behind this Texas offensive line, so you don't know what you're getting from these guys. I think it's going to be who had that air raid? Who was that? Who used to do that air raid? I can't remember. It was some unknown school. I can't remember. But you know, my
Redcom guns up.
I don't want to hear that shit. But no, man. But I think it's going to be a high-flying game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game for Monday night. Just overall general thoughts on offensively with both of these teams. We'll start with Wise working backwards. Man, what do you think it's going to look like?
Did y'all win Saturday?
Yeah, we won Saturday. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just PV. It wasn't nothing major, but yeah, we won. So I mean, you can't really. It was like a scrimmage, you know. Anyway, shout out to all the PV alums in the chat. But wow, man, what do you think this game is going to look like offensively? I mean, how do you think the Texans come out looking again? Like I said, with the question marks at running back right now, and it's all the new pieces offensively, man.
I think the offense is going to come out here and ball out. I know that the Saints got Marshawn Lattimore. That's the only solid corner they have on that side of the ball. I mean, when we look at Eli Apple, what has Eli Apple done so far in his career? Nothing. What has any of the safeties done in their career? Nothing. Their linebackers is all right, but, I mean, their linebackers ain't great. Nobody on their defense stand out except for Marshawn Lattimore. And I can't think of the dude on the defensive line as of now. The dude with the dreads, he just got paid. The defensive lineman, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But anyways, I think the Texans wide receiving core, we're going to see a lot of Kenny Stills today. Kenny Stills going to be able to eat up that slot wide receiver position. We might even see Will Fuller playing a little bit of slot and put in Kenny Stills outside receiving position. So I think this offense will be fluid. I just want to see what this running back's going to do, man. I want to see if we're going to be able to implement Carlos Hyde in them fourth and ones, third and twos, and goal line situations, because this guy's a power back. We need to use him in those situations instead of running screens, instead of trying to pass the ball and spread out the offense on fourth and one. Go ahead and put that bulldozer behind Deshaun Watson with Cullen Gillespie that y'all wanted to add to the 53-man roster, and go ahead and run that rock and get that first down. So I think this Texans offense is going to put up at least 4 touchdowns today, but I think they're going to come out balling.
Okay. And they were saying Cameron Jordan is the one you were talking about?
Yeah, Cameron Jordan.
Okay. Spitz, man, how are you feeling about this offense? Kind of like I say, there's a lot of question marks, a lot of new pieces being added. You know, the guy that everybody spent the first round pick on. Tight is not available. You got Kemah out there again. You got 2 running backs. You don't know what they got. Everything, all the depth behind that is kind of inexperienced. But you got Deshaun Watson. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Will Fuller out there. So the sky's the limit when those 3 guys are on the field. What are you feeling about this team offensively? I mean, well, both teams. I mean, what are you expecting to see tonight offensively for both teams?
Well, I know you were making the joke, but to be honest, they do have the makings of an air raid offense. They don't have in my opinion, they don't have like a legitimate guy as a running back that you can give the ball to 20 to 25 times a game. But they do got guys that you can spread out, that you can move around the backfield. I mean, you got Carlos Hyde, you can run up the middle some, but I don't know if you trust to give him the ball, like I said, 25 times a game. But Duke, you can give the ball to him, type of screens. You can put him out in the slot. DeAndre Carter, Will Fuller, Stills. They got guys. They got pieces they can move around. They can run a similar of an air raid offense. So I do believe this offense can put up points and put up yards, especially against the Saints. Because like Wise said, they because Eli Apple the only thing he's done in the NFL is talk. He talks a lot of trash and it's not backed up anything. Like Eli Apple is awful and was a bust of a first round pick by the Giants. So I think that Texas can do some things offensively and put some points on the board. Like I said, this game is going to be an absolute track meet.
Okay. And not Wise, man. The 10 man. One of the man. The 10 man. How are you feeling about this game, man? What are you seeing? What are you thinking as far as seeing from both offenses in this game this evening?
Man, I am sorry to be so damn pessimistic. I'm so sorry, guys. I know my motherfucking words probably made a little people excited. But guys, have you ever heard an old jalopy car just stall out, just sputter, bah, 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 bah? That's what I feel like the offense is going to be like. They are too fresh with each other. They haven't put a lot of things together with each other. Our offensive line is going to be the first time this 5-man unit is playing together a second of football. They didn't even play together during the preseason. It was constantly interchangeable pieces, constantly different people going in there. Then you got the fact that we lose the one guy that the offense has always leaned on, Lamar Miller. I know a lot of people aren't fan favorite. He's not a fan favorite of a lot of people. But at the end of the day, Lamar Miller was capable of getting some yards. I mean, the way that O'Brien abused him consistently on first down, that's going to be missed tonight. And I think that it's going to be a slow start. I definitely don't see the offense coming out and absolutely being capable of matching what the Saints are going to be able to do. I think both teams will have a slow start, but then it's going to get going in the second half and really change the course of the game. I think it's just going to be too little too late for us.
Okay. That's unfortunate. I'm looking at it like this. If Bill O'Brien doesn't realize, and shout out to Josh, the fun fact that Bill O'Brien is 1-0 versus Sean Payton. Yes, that was J.J. Watt's field day of a game. I look at it like this, man. And this is why I have questions with Bill O'Brien being the player. I forgot who it was. It was somebody on one of them shows the other day I was watching. Because I really watched him and I forgot who said it. But he was talking about when he was a coach /GM. I fucking forgot who said it. But he was just talking about how difficult it was to handle all of that responsibility. And then to throw play calling in that hat. You know what I mean? It's just so much on this. You know, when you talk about multitasking, you're not doing anything as efficiently as you possibly can. It means you're doing a bunch of things kind of half-assed, but eventually getting them done. And that's my concern when it comes to Bill O'Brien, is because you're doing too many jobs half-assedly. And I just, you know, it's difficult enough being a head coach as it is. You see so many people come and go and fail at that. He hasn't shown me that he had that completely under control. Then you throw, like I say, the calling, the play calling, which is something he's been doing for a couple of years now, and we already know how most Texas fans feel about that. And then the management. Going against Peyton and being in this situation, Bill O'Brien has to know he has to step on the gas, because this is something that I've noticed from all the teams here in week one, and I'm expecting this to happen with the Saints too. Every team that ended last year in contention, for the most part, won yesterday. All the teams that were predicted to either be contending for a Super Bowl, I think the Rams was kind of close, but think about Patriots and Kansas City, both blowouts in the AFC. The Saints were contenders in the NFC. The Saints are going to try to emulate with some of these other teams just to show that, hey, well, there's this tier of teams in the league, and then there's everybody else. And so my concern right now is, like, are the Texans going to be able to compete? Is Bill O'Brien still Captain Conservative, or has he stepped it up a notch? Has he changed his game plan? I don't know. I feel like we've yet to see it, because from what we saw in the preseason, maybe everybody else is right. Maybe everybody else is, Bill is just this wise beyond his years, just guru, and he's just fooling everybody. He's going to make everybody think he's still conservative, and then he's going to open something up in the in the regular season. I said last year during the playoffs that I thought he was going to open up. We could talk about injuries. We could talk about talent that was on the field that could have possibly been a hindrance. He has no excuse tonight. You have plenty of talent on the field to do anything that you want to do with that offense, regardless of who you have at running back. So I don't see him having any excuses to be putting out this conservative ass. Well, let's go with Mr. Reliable D-Hop. Let's keep it slow. Let's try to slow the game down. You can't do that with the Saints. And especially with the defense I think you're putting on this first night, I think it's going to be very questionable. All right, so we've got a few minutes left. And we're going to jump into what everybody wants to hear. I think what everybody wants to know. The thing that we come here to find out. We're going to get some score predictions going. And we'll start with the 10-man. I want to know your thoughts. What is your prediction for tonight's score? What are your thoughts in the chat, too? I want to know what you guys think. And then I want to know how many draw plays is Bill O'Brien going to run tonight. But what is your score prediction as far as tonight, 10-man?
As far as the score goes for me, I'm thinking Saints take this one 28-20. It's just that we don't have anything on the back end of the defense to stop this air attack that they have. And that's my honest opinion.
Okay. All right. 28-20 says the 10-man. Spitz, what is your prediction? I think you got the mute going on.
Good. My bad. Good news, Texan fans. Everybody on NFL Countdown picked the Texans to lose. So 9 times out of 10, when that happens, the Texans. 9 times out of 10, when everybody picks the same, it always goes the opposite way. But I'm gonna join in and also pick the Saints to win, 35-31.
35-31. Okay. So folks seeing it pretty close. Just not quite getting the job done. Wise man, what do you think? How are you feeling? Who is going to win this game? What's your score prediction?
I know my original prediction was the Texans were going to lose this game. I know that everybody on NFL Network, everybody on ESPN picked the Texans to lose. I seen Saints fan coming to my office today, playing Saints music, dancing around, lollygagging. But I won't.
Don't do it.
Today. I didn't talk shit to nobody this season. And I'm ready to start talking shit. My God, the Houston Texans go to the Saints, knock the motherfuckers off, win 31-28. Miami get it done.
31-28. You counting on Kaimi? Am I hearing what I'm hearing? Okay. Woo. Man.
Yep.
I'm gonna do something. I haven't done in quite some time. I know I've been hearing the whispers and the murmurs around the sauce. I've been hearing what Sauce Nation has been saying. Those guys are so negative. Those guys hate the Texans. Those guys just, how are they Texans fans? All they do is shit on the Texans. Monday Night Football. Something that we haven't discussed.
That night?
It's something that we have not discussed, and this is why I feel like the likelihood of this happening is more significant than ever. We're talking about one motherfucking D4, because Tunsil called him D4. Deshaun motherfucking Watson, put some goddamn respect on his name. Playing prime time, okay? We know that Deshaun Watson's prime time record is better than anything Billy O was putting out there. I feel like Deshaun Watson takes control of this game. And not only do you have Deshaun Watson coming into his first season, well, not his first season, but his coming into an offseason fully healthy, comfortable with the organization, knowing what he has going on.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say I gave Watson with 5 touchdowns, so that means at least 35 points are on the board for the Houston Texans. This game is going to be a shootout. This game is going to be extremely close until the end. The Saints are going to have an opportunity for a game winner. It's going to look similar to that Philly game last year. But this time, somebody I don't even have faith in, I'm going to count on. I think Bradley Roby's going to get torched all game long. But on that drive, he's going to make a play. Not an interception, I don't know what it's going to be. He's going to make a play that saves us the game. Like, it's going to be ugly for the Texans to the fourth quarter. I think Deshaun puts some magic on in the fourth quarter. Texans win this game 35-31. That's the problem. I'm going to go with that same score. I'm reversing it for Spitz. That's what I'm going with. So there, y'all want the happiness, y'all want the home. Goddamn it, look, man. Fuck New Orleans, okay? Yeah, it's just because, goddamn it, I want to talk some goddamn shit. I'm tired of motherfucking me being on the back end, so I'm gonna wager my crow. I'm gonna throw this shit out because I'm tired of being fucking. I believe in the team, okay? I don't believe in fucking Bill O'Brien. No, I don't. But I believe in this goddamn team. I believe in the power of Watson. What was it from the Book of Watson? Look, hey. Crow gumbo? I'll eat the crow gumbo. I got the crow lined up, man. But here's the deal. We're going to get ready to wind down. It says 16. I just double checked it. So we're going to let these gentlemen, say what's on their mind. I want to know what y'all think. Season that crow. Make sure it's good. Heidi, you are not only Caucasian, but you're German. So I don't know about seasoning the crow. I'll season it myself, and we'll worry about that. I'm just talking shit. Gentlemen, y'all have anything y'all want to say before we slide out of here, starting with fucking Popeye's crow sandwich. Start with the wise man. Anything you want to say to the people before we slide out, man?
It's all about the marination. It's not about the season. It's about marinating.
Oh.
You got to marinate first before you season the chicken. Anyways, I want to say shout out to Sauce Nation. I might, if I gotta do a pro video, I'll do a pro video tomorrow night, or I'll do one early in the morning and I'll drop it. But goddamn, hopefully Houston go out here and win. Y'all go ahead and watch the Texans. Go ahead and support for 8 times.
Already. Man, Spitz, anything you want to say to the people before we slide up out of here, man?
Man, shout out Sauce Nation. Shout out y'all boys having me on one more time, one more again. And man, let's get it. Even though I predicted the Texans to lose, I got to hold on to my prediction what I predicted before the season. I actually have a good feeling, but I got to hold on to what I've been saying. I'm not one of those people that backpedal and backtrack. Hopefully, Roby knows how to backpedal. So, in saying that, man, let's go out there. Hope the boys can. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the boys can get a dub because we need them to get the dub. We don't want to be behind the Tennessee Titans 1-0 in the standings. So hopefully we get this dub. And come on, Sauce Nation. Come on, Houston Texans. Let's get it.
Absolutely. And the 10 man, the most toxic of them all, man. What do you got to say to folks before we slide up out of here, man?
Man, like everybody else reiterated, I hope I'm wrong too. I hate the feeling. I would love to have the feeling of just being wrong in my gut, because the embarrassment, I can laugh it off. I can joke with y'all. I can get up here with a suit and tie. I can play with y'all, and y'all can play with me and dog me out for being so damn negative. But I am sick and tired of being fucking mediocre. Please, Houston Texans, prove me wrong. Please go out there and give me something that I can walk tomorrow with a little bit of swagger in my step and just come back here and joke with y'all later when I got to make my crow video. But please, dear God, please let these motherfuckers win tonight.
Man, here's the deal. I wanna be hopeful going into the season. I want to be hopeful on game day, but I think when it's not game day, you ain't got them vibes and that energy. You're a little bit more realistic, and so I think that's why I'm going the way I'm going. But yes, there will be a post-game show immediately after the game, so make sure you're in there. We'll have the line open. We're having a 5-minute rule, so y'all can call and vent or celebrate or whatever the fuck is on your mind. Let's just get it, man. This is fucking game time. I want to say shout out to Sauce Nation. I want to say shout out to the whole round table. I want to say shout out to everybody who came through. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Make sure you share this, and make sure you subscribe if you're just over there lurking and all that other good shit. But with that being said, y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the entire motherfucking land. I appreciate all of y'all for coming through. And with that being said, man, we chugging up a deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all stay saucy, and we out.